In this Basant session of renewal and growth, I welcome you all to the joint sitting of the two houses of the Parliament. I am confident that your deliberations will live up to the trust reposed in us by our fellow citizens. And going forth, we will all be partners in the progress and development of our great country. During my address to the joint sitting last year, I had outlined the visionary initiatives undertaken by my government towards building an India that strides into the future with confidence. A strong and forward-looking India that places within the reach of its people the opportunities and development promised by our Constitution. The development philosophy is captured in Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, the fundamental tenet which guides my government. Dindayal Upadhyay spoke of Ekatma Manvata Darshan, which envisages Antodaya, where the empowering ray of opportunity reach the last person. This principle guides all the programs of my government. My government in particular is focused on Garibon ki Unnati, Kisano ki Samriddhi and Yuvaon ko Rozgar. Honorable members, the overriding goal of my government is poverty eradication. Gandhiji said, and I quote, "Poverty is the worst form of violence," unquote. The essence of progress lies in bringing sense of fulfillment to the poor and the deprived, the marginalized and vulnerable sections of the society. The poorest of the poor are entitled to the first charge on the nation's resources. Removing the scourge of poverty and destitution is our most sacred responsibility. My government is pledged to making this goal possible through financial inclusion and social security, the two wings on which human aspiration takes flight. To this end, my government has placed great emphasis on food security, housing for all, and subsidies that reach those who need them the most when they need them the most. Last year, I had spoken of the ambitious Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. Today, I am proud to say that it is the world's most successful financial inclusion programs. Under the program, out of over 21 crore accounts opened, 15 crore accounts are operational with an aggregate deposit of over rupees 32,000 crores. The program has gone beyond mere opening of bank accounts to becoming a platform for poverty eradication by offering basic financial services and security to the poor. To universalize social security, my government has launched 3 new insurance and pension schemes, namely the Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana, the Pradhan Mantri Jivan Jyoti Bima Yojana, and the Atal Pension Yojana, which afford insurance cover to hitherto uncovered sections of the society. Government is committed to provide housing for all by 2022. The Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, launched on June 25, 2015, envisages construction of around 2 crore houses to benefit primarily slum dwellers, urban poor, and people from economically weaker sections and lower income groups of society. The mission intends to cover all 4,041 statutory towns in coming 5 years. In its first year alone, 2,011 townships in 27 states have been included under this mission. A total of over 4,25,000 houses have been sanctioned with a project cost of over rupees 24,600 crore. Targeted subsidies ensure that benefits reach the deserving. Direct benefit transfer has so far been extended to 42 schemes funded by my government. PAHAL has become the largest direct cash transfer program of its kind in the world, with nearly 15 crore beneficiaries. Since June 2014, the food security coverage has more than doubled to cover over 68 crore persons. The Give Up campaign, in tandem with the Give Back program, has released subsidized fresh connections to 50 lakh BPL families. More than 62 lakh LPG consumers have voluntarily surrendered their LPG subsidy under the campaign. The highest number of new cooking gas connections to the rural poor were distributed in 2015. Dr. Ambedkar had said, and I quote, "Political democracy cannot last unless there lies in the base of it a social democracy," unquote. Social justice with inclusion is the first promise of our Constitution, and the poor and the backward are the focus of my government. The Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocities Act has been further strengthened by suitable amendments. The 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is being celebrated across the country to foster the spirit of social inclusion. 26th of November, the day on which the Constitution was adopted, is now celebrated as Constitution Day to deepen constitutional values amongst the citizens of the country. My government is working to preserve the Panch Tirthas, the 5 sites of Dr. Ambedkar's legacy. Education empowers people, and to serve this end, my government has allocated more than 50% of the Ministry of Minority Affairs budget to the scholarship funds. Two new schemes, Nai Manjil and Ustad, aimed to empower the minorities, have been launched. Currently, about 20,000 madrasa children are undergoing the skill training under the Nai Manjil scheme. Everlasting Flame, an exhibition to showcase the history and the culture of the Parsi community, is being organized next month. Honorable members, किसानों की समृद्धि, the well-being of farmers, is vital to the nation's prosperity. Acknowledging the fundamental reality, my government has renamed the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperation as the Ministry of Agriculture, Cooperation and Farmers' Welfare, and taken several measures for the same. My government has recently launched the farmer-friendly Pranab Mukherjee Fasal Bima Yojana with the highest ever government's contribution to crop insurance and the lowest ever premium rates for farmers. It has many firsts to its credit, like national coverage of post-harvest losses due to inundation and unseasonal rains, no capping on government subsidy, and use of technology to early and accurate settlement of claims. Assistance to farmers afflicted by natural calamity has been increased by 50%, and eligibility norms have been relaxed. Soil health cards will be distributed to all 14 crore farm holders by March 2017 and will result in judicious application of fertilizer, lowering input costs and bettering soil health. To promote organic farming, Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana is being implemented, under which 8,000 clusters have been developed so far. The Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana promises assured irrigation, expanding cultivated areas by improving water use efficiency and enabling drought proofing. My government is committed to the philosophy of per drop more crop and Jal Sanchay for Jal Sinchan. To provide the best market price to farmers, the Unified National Agricultural Market is working towards setting up a common e-market platform to connect 585 regulated wholesale markets, thereby making India one food zone, one country, one market. This will immensely benefit our farmers in getting fair and remunerative prices. Targeted policy interventions in the last year have brought down sugarcane area from over rupees 21,000 crore to rupees 1,800 crore. My government notified the new urea policy 2015 with the objective of maximizing indigenous production, and improving energy efficiency. The policy will lead to additional production of 17 lakh metric tons annually in the next 3 years, providing 100% neem-coated urea has not only improved efficiency but has also helped in plugging subsidy leakages by preventing illegal diversion of subsidized urea to non-agricultural use. The highest ever urea fertilizer production was achieved in 2015. My government recognizes the important role of animal husbandry, dairy and fisheries sections in the socio-economic development of the country. India continues to be the highest milk producing country with an impressive growth rate of 6.3%. Implementation of the Poultry Venture Capital Fund and rural backward poultry development has led to highest ever egg production. A blue revolution is underway to ensure the integrated development and management of fisheries with a central outlay of rupees 3,000 crores. To fully harness the agricultural potential of eastern states, the government is taking several steps to usher in second green revolution in the region. My government has taken steps for strengthening agricultural higher education, setting up 109 new KVKs and 3 new Agriculture Technology Application Research Institute. A 24/7 Kishan channel has been launched to provide information on policy initiatives, prices and other agriculture-related subjects for the benefit of farmers. The food processing sector helps farmers' income, helps increase farmers' income. The food processing fund has been operationalized last year to provide affordable credit to designated food parks. In the last 19 months, 5 new mega food parks have been operationalized. Under the cold chain scheme, 33 projects have been made operational during the last 18 months. Rural development is one of our top priorities. The grant of over rupees 2 lakh crores by the 14th Finance Commission over a 5-year period from 2015-16 exclusively for Gram Panchayats has been received with great enthusiasm by the states. This will move development activity closer to the people and enable them to decide how they want to improve their villages and wards. Pranab Mukherjee Urban Mission has also been launched for 300 rural growth clusters for developing skills and local entrepreneurship and providing infrastructure amenities. Honorable members, youth are the future of our country, and ensuring युवाओं को रोजगार through massive employment generation is a top goal for my government. We are driving job creation through an integrated set of initiatives including Make in India, Startup India, Mudra, Skill India, etc. My government innovative initiatives have helped India jump up 12 places in the latest ranking of the World Bank on ease of doing business. Notably, the Make in India initiative has achieved a 39% increase in FDI inflow despite an adverse global investment climate. My government has fostered competitive cooperation among various states to enhance ease of doing business. State governments are being encouraged and supported to simplify procedures, introduce e-enabled process, and invest in infrastructure to improve investment climate. Procedures have been simplified to enhance ease of approvals and clearances. Dedicated commercial courts and commercial division in high courts have been established. For speedy resolution of the commercial disputes, the long overdue amendments to the Arbitration Act have been made. Micro, small and medium enterprises provide large-scale employment. Banks have cumulatively disbursed over rupees 1 lakh crore to more than 2.6 crore borrowers under the PM's Mudra Yojana, of which 2.07 crore are women entrepreneurs. Udyog Aadhaar portal has been set up to facilitate online registration of MSMEs. My government has decided to set up rural livelihood and technology business incubators to boost entrepreneurship in the agriculture and rural sector. The Startup Village Entrepreneurship Program is a new vertical to strengthen the livelihoods of artisans and weavers. In its first phase, about 1.82 lakh village enterprises will be created and strengthened in 125 blocks across 24 states, creating employment for about 3.78 lakh persons. To strengthen the employment-intensive segments of textile industry, my government has launched an amended Technology Upgradation Fund scheme with an allocation of about rupees 18,000 crore over a 7-year period. A series of reforms have been initiated to help convert job seekers into job creators. My government has launched the Startup India campaign, which would deepen, expand and support the innovation ecosystem in the country. The Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme has been revamped to ensure the efficient disbursements of wages, increased transparency and creation of productive assets. Mission Antoday, an intensive participatory planning exercise, has reached 2,569 most backward blocks to identify the kind of assets to be created. My government's mission of skilling India has gained momentum, and during the last year, about 76 lakh persons have been trained. Honorable members, my government aims to create a Shikshit, Swasth and Swachh Bharat, an educated, healthy and clean India, in a reflection of how the spirit of Swachh Bharat has manifested in our primary schools. Over 4,17,000 functional toilets for girls and boys have been constructed. New institutions of excellence in higher education have been set up. 2 Indian Institutes of Technology, 6 Indian Institutes of Management, 1 Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research, and 1 National Institute of Technology have started functioning. My government has given impetus to research through the launch of Imprint India, whereby scientific goalposts have been identified in 10 fields of research ranging from defense to sustainable living. To enable increased interaction between foreign faculty and our students under the aegis of Gyan, my government in the first cycle invited 400 foreign academicians to teach in India. National institutional ranking framework has been launched for higher educational institutions. The National Scholarship Portal provides a one-stop platform for applications of all scholarships. Sports is the best way to Swasth India. My government successfully hosted the 12th South Asian Games from 5th to 16th February 2016 at Guwahati and Shillong, in which more than 3,500 sports persons from all the SAARC countries participated. The Games were the biggest ever sporting event in the Northeast India. I am happy to inform that we have successfully eliminated maternal and neonatal tetanus well before the global targeted time limit of December 2015. The largest number of children ever fully immunized in a single year was in 2015. My government is leveraging Kayakalp, an inter-institution ranking system, to bring about extensive improvement in cleanliness in our health institutions, reduction of hospital-acquired infections, and better service delivery. My government has placed strong focus on holistic health care, strengthening Ayurveda, yoga and naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Soa Rigappa and homeopathy systems of medicine. The first International Day of Yoga was celebrated on 21st June 2015 world over with immense enthusiasm. To address the problems of malnutrition in a holistic manner, my government is ensuring convergence of the actions of various ministries and programs with a clear focus on measurable outcome. Infrastructure required to effective implementation of the Integrated Child Development Scheme is being strengthened in convergence with other programs. 2 lakh Anganwadi buildings are being constructed in 2,534 most backward blocks under Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme over a period of 4 years. My government has launched the Sugama Bharat Abhiyan as a nationwide campaign for achieving universal accessibility, for ensuring that persons with disabilities participate in all areas of community life. During the last year, 342 camps were conducted, aids and assistive devices have been distributed to over 1.7 lakh persons with disabilities. This Swachh Bharat mission, with its focus on behavioral change, is becoming a community movement to herald an overall change in the quality of life and well-being of the people, particularly the poor, focusing on generating wealth from waste. My government has formulated policies on mandatory procurement of power from the waste to energy plants, co-marketing of compost by chemicals and fertilizer companies, and the construction and demolition waste. My government firmly believes that economic development and environment protection can coexist. At the crucial climate summit in Paris, India's position for climate justice, sustainable lifestyles and clean development were widely supported. Real-time online monitoring of 1,487 industries and industrial units in 17 highly polluting categories and of Ganga water quality has started. To reduce air pollution, target for emission standards for motor vehicles have been drastically brought down to achieve Bharat Stage 6 norm by 2021. The Project Tiger coverage has been expanded, and the latest estimation showed an increase of 30% over the last count. My government has launched Jal Kranti Abhiyan, a people-centric program to spread awareness on water conservation and management involving all stakeholders, including Gram Panchayats. As part of the Namami Gange program, my government is implementing several projects in all 118 cities and complete sanitation solutions for 1,649 Gram Panchayats on the banks of the holy Ganga. Honorable members, my government has taken several measures to improve the quality of governance. Significant steps have been taken to reform institutions, simplify procedures, and repeal obsolete laws. Close to 1,800 obsolete legislations are at various stages of repeal. Niti Aayog is actively engaging with states in policy formulation in the true spirit of cooperative federalism. People's participation in policy making through initiatives like MyGov has now taken firm roots. My government has taken up an initiative for providing 500 e-governance services through public-private partnership in 12 states of the country. My government has dispensed with interviews for posts at junior levels in Government of India to ensure absolute transparency in recruitment to government jobs. While on the one hand, my government has taken measures to eliminate the scope for corruption, on the other hand, it has been unsparing in punishing those who are found guilty of corruption. Stringent amendments to the Prevention of the Corruption Act are also on the anvil to address the perceived gaps in the anti-corruption law. Honorable members, robust infrastructure development unlocks opportunities for all. My government has initiated the Smart Cities program, envisaging city development in a challenge mode. In the first phase of the Smart City program, 20 cities have been selected after intense competition among 98 cities. Second and third phases of the program are on the anvil. To enhance the availability of clean energy, my government has envisaged increasing the renewable energy capacity manifold to 175 gigawatt by 2022 by encouraging various initiatives including offshore wind energy policy, bundling of thermal power with solar power, setting up solar parks in states, etc. Installed solar capacity has almost doubled in the last 20 months and crossed 5,000 megawatts. Today, under my government, solar power is affordable and accessible to thousands of people. Since this government assumed office, energy shortage have been reduced from 4 to 2.3%. My government is committed to providing electricity to all the census village by May 2018. My government has launched the Ujjwal Discom Assurance Yojana for financial turnaround of the power distribution companies of states and union territories. 83% of the capacity addition target of 88,537 megawatts for the 12th plan period has already been achieved. My government has focused on commissioning major transmission projects for reducing congestion in transmission. I am happy to share that available transfer capacity of South India has increased by 71% from May 2014 to December 2015. This has resulted in cheaper and abundant power in South India, finally moving towards the goal of one nation, one grid, one price. To revive gas-based power generation capacity, my government implemented a new initiative of supply of refined LNG. This has ensured revival of stranded gas plants with installed capacity of 11,717 megawatts. In the year 2015, India witnessed the highest ever generation of electricity. My government has introduced critical amendments in the tariff policy for ensuring availability of electricity to consumers at reasonable and competitive rates. Two ambitious national LED programs have been launched for cities for street lighting and LED bulbs for domestic lighting. Over 6 crore LED bulbs have already been distributed through a bulk procurement strategy. The cost of LED bulb has been brought down from rupees 310 in January 2014 to rupees 64 in January 2015. My government has introduced dynamic and comprehensive reforms in the coal sector and conducted transparent auction allocation of over 70 coal blocks. These will immensely benefit the eastern states in the years to come. Strong emphasis on increasing coal production has resulted in a record 9.8% growth in CIL's coal production and highest ever output of coal. This has also led to reduced imports of coal. Honorable members, to give a boost to the mining sector and to bring in transparency in the allocation of the mineral resources, the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957 was amended and auction of mines has commenced. For systematic exploration in potential mineral-bearing areas using state-of-the-art techniques, National Mineral Exploration Trust has been established. Pradhan Mantri Khanij Kshetra Kalyan Yojana will implement development and welfare projects in the mining affected areas for minimizing adverse impacts and ensuring sustainable livelihood for the affected people. My government has recently dedicated to the nation the Assam gas cracker project with an estimated cost of more than rupees 9,900 crores. The project is expected to generate employment for about 1 lakh persons, both direct and indirect. Honorable members, my government has initiated several ambitious measures for improving sanitation standards at the railway stations and trains. Samman guides us in our endeavor to phase out the open discharge of sewage from the trains and combat manual scavenging. All new coaches are now being filled with bio-toilets. Focus has also been on doubling gauge conversion and capacity enhancement works in railways. Commissioning of broad gauge and electrification have been at all-time record levels. The highest ever increase in railway capital expenditure was achieved in 2015. A landmark agreement with Government of Japan will make the Mumbai-Ahmedabad high-speed rail corridor a reality. My government has awarded 2 mega projects for setting up of diesel and electric locomotive factories in Mathura and Madhepura respectively. Honorable members, by March 2019, under the Pradhan Mantri Sadak Yojana, 1,78,000 rural habitations will be connected with all-weather roads. My government has revived a majority of the 73 stalled road projects, completed construction of 7,200 kilometers of highways, and awarded 17,900 kilometer highway projects, which is the highest ever number of new highway kilometers awarded. My government has formulated an umbrella scheme, Bharat Mala, at an estimated cost of over rupees 2,67,000 crores for development of the national highways to ensure connectivity to Char Dham during all seasons. A project of over rupees 12,000 crores has been taken up. A special Green Highway Policy 2015 has been launched for making highways green, and a pilot policy for conversion of the diesel waste into electrical buses have been taken up. The country recorded the highest ever production of motor vehicles in 2015. Guidelines have been issued for the protection of the good Samaritans from harassment in the road accident cases. Honorable members, to rejuvenate the shipping sector with focus on Make in India, my government has launched a scheme for financial assistance to domestic seafarers. Several steps for improving operational efficiency of the major ports and for simplifying rules and process have been initiated. In 2015, India achieved the fastest average turnaround time in ports and the highest ever quantity of cargo handled by major ports. My government is keen on promoting extensive use of the inland waterways and coastal shipping as an alternative mode of transport. My government is also working on a new civil aviation policy with thrust on connectivity to small cities. Domestic air passengers traffic has been registered a substantial growth during the year. Honorable members, setting up world-class infrastructure for electronics manufacturing across the country remains a priority for my government. 29 electronic manufacturing clusters are under development. The recent interventions and subsequent rationalization of duty structure on mobile handset manufacturing industry has led to near doubling of mobile handset production in the current year. Transparent and efficient auction of the spectrum has fetched highest ever price of about rupees 1,10,000 crores. Policies like spectrum trading and sharing have been finalized for optimal utilization of resources. The country recorded the highest ever software exports during 2015. Under BharatNet, the architecture and design of the National Optical Fiber Network is being revamped to rapidly take broadband connectivity to our villages. By spreading the network of common service centers and setting up of BPOs in small towns and linking land record modernization with the use of space technology, my government is taking the benefits of Digital India to common citizens. The Digital India program will give a big boost to citizens' empowerment and knowledge economy. The IT modernization project involving computerization and networking of 1,55,000 post offices in the country will be completed by 2017. The proposed Postal Payment Bank of India will further boost the financial inclusion. Honorable members, my government has embarked on several significant projects such as National Supercomputing Mission, improving fuel efficiency and controlling emissions. My government has launched Science and Technology of Yoga and Meditation program to explore the modern scientific roots of our traditional wisdom. Building upon this success over the past year, my government endeavors is to scale new heights in space. Focus will be on completing the constellation of the Indian navigational satellites in 2016 to cater to indigenous navigation and location-based services. Honorable members, Varanasi and Jaipur have been declared as the first two Indian cities to be part of UNESCO Creative Cities Network. 13 circuits and 13 pilgrimage sites have been identified for development under Swadesh Darshan scheme and Prasad scheme respectively. Radio has once again emerged as the people's medium. Establishment of new radio stations has received a fresh impetus. The good response to the success and transparent bidding for the first batch of private FM radio for Phase 3, comprising 135 channels in 69 cities, augur well for the medium. Honorable members, India is a haven of stability in an increasingly turbulent global economy. GDP growth has increased, making India the world's fastest growing economy among the large economies. Inflation, fiscal deficit and current account deficit have been decreased. India recorded the highest ever foreign exchange reserve in 2015. The Indradhanush program has been launched to revitalize public sector banks and ensure credit flow to the economy with committed minimum recapitalization of rupees 70,000 crore. In addition, we have undertaken major government reforms, brought in private sector talent and moved in a fully transparent and meritocratic recruiting process. We have also issued 23 banking licenses after a long hiatus of 10 years. The government's concerted efforts to tackle the menace of black money have started yielding results with the enactment of the Black Money, Undisclosed Foreign Income and Assets and Imposition of the Tax Act 2015, a stringent legislative framework has been put in place to combat the menace. The government has launched the gold monetization scheme and the sovereign gold bond scheme in November 2015 to ensure productive utilization of the idle assets. The government has taken a number of measures to put in place a simplified, progressive and non-adversarial tax regime by incorporating internationally prevalent best practices in tax administration. A gamut of taxpayer facilities that is, e-filing of returns and various forms, electronic processing and retrieval of documents, and online grievances redressal are now available to the citizens. Honorable members, my government is fully committed to firmly deal with the challenges concerning the security of the country. Terrorism is a global threat, and strong counter-terrorism measures are necessary worldwide to eradicate it completely. Let me congratulate the security forces in successfully foiling the recent attack at the Pathankot air base by terrorists. Firm and effective steps will be taken to deal with any situation arising out of the cross-border terrorism. There has been significant improvement in the overall security situation in the northeastern states. Left-wing extremism affected states. This has been made possible through sustained efforts and measures taken by the intelligence agencies and security forces in collaboration with the state governments. The country had to face severe drought and floods in some states. The unprecedented floods that submerged Chennai in December last year brought untold human sufferings and economic loss. My government stands with the people who have faced natural calamities and has immediately forwarded physical and financial resources to the states to handle such disasters. An amount of more than rupees 13,000 crore has been released under the State and National Disaster Program Fund. Honorable members, defense procurement procedures has been streamlined with a focus on indigenously designed, developed and manufactured weapon systems. We are working to ensure that our armed forces will be equipped with the most capable and sophisticated armaments in the world. In our country, Shakti, which means power, is the manifestation of female energy. This Shakti defines our strength. My government has approved the induction of women as short service commission officers and as fighter pilots in the Indian Air Force. In the future, my government will induct women in all fighter streams of our armed forces. My government has initiated several measures to ensure safety and security of women, which include nationwide emergency response systems, a central victim compensation fund, cyber crime prevention against women and children, and organized crime investigation agencies, and an integrated emergency response management system for women's safety in the railways. We are indebted to those who, inspired by their selfless services and their supreme sacrifice in the line of duty. Acknowledgement must not hinge on ceremony or noble gestures of gratitude alone. In spite of huge financial implications of more than rupees 7,000 crore per year, my government has fulfilled its commitment to implement 4 decades-old demand of one rank, one pension. Honorable members, my government has continued to pursue a bold and proactive foreign policy. The primary objective has been to accelerate national development with emphasis on improving India's access to capital, technology, resources, energy, and skills. States have been made partners in our diplomatic efforts. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. My government is committed to this principle, and its expression in most reasoned in the steps we have taken in reaching out to our neighbors. Last year, my government adopted the historic land boundary agreement with Bangladesh, leading to the peaceful exchange of disputed territories between our two countries. The signing of the motor vehicles agreement between Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Nepal will provide seamless connectivity and further strengthen ties. We have been a friend in need to Nepal during the devastating earthquake of April 2015. We opened our skies, became a key transit hub and essential enabler so that assistance from other countries could reach Nepal in its hour of need. My government is committed for forging a mutually respectful relationship with Pakistan and in creating an environment of cooperation in combating cross-border terrorism. My government believes in a secure and prosperous future for our neighborhood. India remains committed to providing support to the people of Afghanistan in realizing their dream of building a stable, inclusive and democratic nation. Dedication of the Afghanistan Parliament to the people by Prime Minister Narendra Modi was our contribution to Afghanistan's pursuit of peace and prosperity. We reached out to the world, both on land and sea, of 54 participating nations in the India-Africa Summit, attended by heads of states and governments from 41 countries, has rejuvenated India's relations with the continent, ushering in a new era of engagement and fraternity. My government will not let oceans separate us and has activated engagement with the 14 Pacific Island countries and revitalized civilizational links with our vibrant Act East policy. India's second international fleet review, attended by 50 foreign navies, reinforced our cultural, commercial and strategic connect with our immediate and extended maritime neighborhood. My government has played a proactive role in reducing climate change by launching an international solar alliance that has been universally acknowledged. We remain at the forefront of the global fight against terrorism. Sustained Indian efforts have led to the concrete action for reforming the United Nations Security Council. India has also provided strong leadership and new vision to regional and international groupings like BRICS, G20, WTO, East Asia Summit, ASEAN and the SCO. My government has enhanced NRI and PIO engagement by making it easier for them to get passports and offered visa on arrival by extending electronic travel authorizing facilities to a large number of countries. Today, our citizens living and working abroad know that the government is committed to protecting their interests and helping them in distress. This was manifested in Operation Rahat, in which we successfully evacuated 4,748 Indians from Yemen. We also extended our assistance to other nationalities. We evacuated 1,962 foreigners belonging to 48 countries. Honorable members, my government is focused on Sabka Vikas, beyond just the economic advancements that dominate headlines. To realize Sabka Vikas, we must ensure that the poor and the deprived are truly empowered to take advantage of opportunities to improve their lives. Sabka Vikas means that backward sections of the society are equally valued and are genuine stakeholders in the country's progress. Sabka Vikas implies that we tackle the pollution, traffic and garbage problems that plague our cities. And lastly, Sabka Vikas is development for the entire world, which is why we have to be a responsible member of the Global Committee of Nations helping all humanity solve major challenges such as terrorism, climate change and financial instability. Honorable members, our Parliament reflects the supreme will of the people. Democratic temper calls for debate and discussion and not disruption or obstruction. Ano bhadro kitabo yantu vishwata. Let noble thoughts come from all directions should be the spirit behind debate in this temple of democracy. Being a member of this great institution bestows great honor as well as important responsibilities. My government will constantly strive for smooth and constructive conduct of the parliamentary business. I urge all members of Parliament to discharge their solemn responsibilities in a spirit of cooperation and mutual accommodation. Let us all collectively endeavor to build a flourishing and prosperous India. We owe a great debt to our freedom fighters. It is time to repay that debt by building the country that they envisioned and fought for. In the words of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, nationalism is inspired by the highest ideals of the human race. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. Let us embrace these ideals as we stake our claim on the future. Jai Hind.
The main mission of my visit is to clear the misunderstanding that surfaced in the last few months and to take back our relations to the same level of enthusiasm we saw when Modi ji visited Nepal